Alright, y'all. We're gonna try this again. The lot of survivors with the Diddy Chronicles. My man is now in not my man. The monster is now in jail without bail. Hold on, y'all. Life. Alright, y'all, what was I saying? Okay, so the monster right here, uh is not getting out because he's a flight risk. Judge, hold on, what was that? Judge Robin Tarnofsky made the perfect decision. His lawyers, of course, wanted him to get $50 million bond on house arrest. For this dude, he needs to get that is a YNW or thug treatment where like they can't contact nobody on the outside. I want to say Melly, but yeah. So Combs pleaded not guilty Tuesday. So racketeering, conspiracy. Are there going to be others in this case? And trafficking. An indictment accuses him of presiding over a sordid empire of true crimes, coercing and abusing women for years while using blackmail and shocking acts of violence to keep his victims in line. Hmm. Why do I keep? I don't know, because you say chart right here again. It says charged with racketeering, conspiracy, and trafficking. The music monster is accused of inducing female victims and male workers into up sometimes days long actual performance dubbed freak offs. You other folks that went to them freak offs, that's on them tapes, because you are on them tapes. They coming for you. Not as hard as him, but don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. They probably done contacted some people already, whether it be witness or whatever. Because they've been interviewing people. We've been wondering what's taking so long. That was taking so long. 50, 50 victims and witnesses. I'm not guilty, Combs told the court, standing to speak after listening to the allegations with his uncuffed hands folded in his lap. Um, Mr. Combs physically and sexually abused victims for decades. He used his vast resources of his company to facilitate his abuse over and cover up his crimes. Simply put, he's a serial abuser and a serial obstructor. Assistant U.S. Attorney Emily Johnson told the court she also said he had extensive and exhaustive history of obstruction of justice, including alleged robbery and witness intimidation. I believe it all. The witnesses spilled it all, okay? They spilled it all. Yeah, that's been a little bit better. Um, his lawyers, however, that weird lawyer, this guy, Mark. So he's not a perfect person. He has been in toxic relationships. Well, gee, George, why were they so toxic? Could it be you physically put your hand on a woman when you want her to be with other men while you watch? He's in therapy and receiving treatment for things he needed for. Whatever, Mark. He said Combs is innocent, and he argued in court that the evidence in this case is extremely problematic. Y'all thought that they didn't get nothing out of that raid because he wasn't arrested immediately. No, what they found, they took that to build a bigger case. Because with the case they built, I don't know if I read it already, but okay. He blaming the whole thing on Cassie. Basically, he maintained the case stemmed from one long-term consensual relationship that faltered amid infidelity. He didn't name the woman, but the details match the relationship with Cassie. But he did stuff before Cassie. The 17-year-old was before Cassie. Things with Kim before Cassie. The freak offs. Oh, I just said that part. This is the part. Prosecutors, however, said in court papers that they had interviewed more than 50 victims and witnesses and expect the number to grow. I do too. They said they would use financial, travel, and billing records, electronic data, and communications videos of the freak offs to prove their case. So they had videos of the freak offs. Who won them tapes? Things that make you go, Alright. Okay, so Combs basically spoke to his lawyers, occasionally leaned over to converse with them when they were not talking. He nodded his head at what they were saying. He was arrested 6 months after the raids. Oh, here we go. A conviction on every charge in the indictment will require a mandatory 15 with the possibility of life. Go ahead in there with Robert. Y'all can have little concerts for the inmates or whatever. Make music, whatever. The indictment describes Combs as the head of a criminal enterprise that engaged or attempted to engage in trafficking, forced labor, interstate transportation for purposes of prostitution offenses, kidnapping, arson, robbery, and obstruction of justice. Combs and his associates wielded his power and prestige to intimidate and lure women into his orbit, often under the pretense of romantic relationship, the indictment said. It says he then would use force. He said it says he then would use force, threats, and coercion to get the women to engage with male workers in the freak offs. Elaborate and produced performances that Combs arranged, directed, and pleasured himself during, and often recorded, creating dozens of videos. They got it, y'all. They got it. He sometimes arranged to fly the women in and ensured their participation by procuring and providing controlling their careers, leveraging his financial support, and using intimidation and violence, according to the indictment. The events could last for days, and Combs and victims would often receive IV fluids to recover from the exhaustion and use. According to the the indictment said. It said his employees facilitated in the freak offs by arranging travel, booking hotel rooms, stocking them with such supplies as and baby oil, scheduling delivery of IV fluids, and cleaning the rooms afterwards. During the searches of Combs' homes earlier this year, law enforcement seized narcotics, videos of the freak offs, and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil lubricant. Why the fudge do this man need over 1,000 bottles of baby oil? Sweetness be his name. He ain't honeycomb no more. He's sweetness. He's diddly. Oh, they also found firearm ammunition, including AR-15s with the face serial numbers. 2 of them broken into parts in his bedroom in Miami. He said the dumb lawyer said he didn't own them, but whatever. I gotta go, y'all. It's only 9 minutes left. I'm gonna read the rest of this and see if I have to come back right quick with a part 2. So just for now, I'm gonna say just like water in that mother and sun, although it's raining right now. I'm out of here, coach. Alright, y'all, I had to come back because the rest of this article is good. Okay, so the indictment portrays Combs as a violent man, because he is, who choked, shoved people, hit and kicked victims, and sometimes dragged them by their hair, causing injuries that often took days, weeks to heal. His employees and associates sometimes witnessed his violence and kept victims from leaving or tracked down those who tried, the indictment said. Okay, so I'm happy now that it took so long because they got. It alleges that Combs sometimes kept videos of victims engaging in acts and used the recordings as collateral to ensure the women's continued obedience and silence. That's why so many people not. That's why a lot of people shut up. Is that why Mr. Carter disappeared? Is Mr. Carter on them tapes? We'll find out. Then again, I doubt it. But he also extorted control over victims by promising career opportunities, providing and threatening to withhold financial support, dictating how they looked, Daniel King, monitoring their health records, Cassie, and controlling where they lived, according to the indictment. I don't know about that part. In a court filing, prosecutors accused Combs, an unidentified co-conspirator, of kidnapping someone at gunpoint a few days before Christmas in 2011 to facilitate a break-in at another person's home. 2 weeks later, they wrote Combs set fire to someone's vehicle by slicing open its convertible top and dropping in a Molotov cocktail. We know who that allegedly was. I don't have no picture of him, but Kid Cudi. I would say that would be Kid Cudi. I don't have no picture of him, no. All of this, prosecutors allege, was happening behind the facade of Combs' global music lifestyle and clothing business. A year ago, Sean Combs stood in Times Square and was handed a key to New York City. Today, he's been indicted and will face justice. Manhattan-based U.S. Attorney Damian Williams said at news conference Tuesday, Combs returned the key in June after Mayor Eric Adams requested it. We'll take that back. Take that. Combs was recognized as one of the most influential figures in hip-hop before a flood of allegations emerged over the past year. As the threat of criminal charges loomed, Combs and his associates pressured witnesses and victims to stay silent. Mama, offering bribes and supplying false narratives of what happened. In November, Ventura filed a lawsuit saying he had beaten her for years. She accused Combs of coercing her and others into unwanted in feud settings. The suit was settled in one day, but months later, the footage came out. Combs did a little PSA saying he was disgusted at what he did, whatever. The indictment refers to the attack without naming Ventura and says Combs tried to bribe a hotel security staffer to stay mum about it. Douglas Wickdor, a lawyer for Ventura, declined to comment Tuesday. Combs and his attorney denied similar allegations made by others in a string of lawsuits. The AP does not typically name people who say they have been abused unless they come forward publicly, as Ventura did. He should be able to contact. They should not let him contact nobody on the outside. They really shouldn't. He should have to be secluded within his own. I'm just saying. What's y'all thoughts? He gonna be in there with Robert soon? Well, is he gonna be in there with Robert? We waited. This is why we waited so long, y'all. I'm glad I waited now. We waited so long so they could have a case where he could be facing life. Life. They ain't want to be able to skate with this. I'm satisfied. I mean, although, there's a convicted felon out he's been convicted of. It's a felon out that has 34 convictions. Like, yeah, 34 convictions. He's still walking around, but hey, neither here nor there. That is what it is. I just want him convicted. And just like Ward in the Sun, I'm out.